Hello. Real quick, I'm gonna go over this before my call with the sisters. So there. Oops. So in regards to um, my Medal of Honor art project, um, I had given reference to the definition for domestic terrorism, which is in certain regards treason. So I'm going to go over the definition of terrorism really quickly in comparison to this book. The definition of terrorism is the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. Now, obviously, in certain regards, you can also take into consideration the definition of treason, which is the crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. Now, in reference to that, obviously I have not been either one of those. However, those who caused problems to my Medal of Honor art project, they obviously caused problems to the different civilians of the different areas, and in attempts to kibosh, kill, however you want to put it, my Medal of Honor art project. Not forgetting the aspects of you don't earn the Medal of Honor without being military association. So not only did those cherubim ones, as I call them, essentially, whether they stated it out loud, put it in writing, or however, they essentially declared war against the United States of America's armed forces and the different branches thereof. Because my Medal of Honor art project, where I was being absolutely respectful, no matter where I went, no matter who I spoke with, I didn't cause any problems. I did everything to prevent and reduce those problems. Not that I even knew that there would be problems, but more along the lines of, I didn't want to, okay, so in regards to the actual art project portions of, getting the rubbings and stuff like that, doing that the correct way to prevent any issues spiritually in that regard. Being respectful of not only the Medal of Honor recipient's spirit, but each branch of the United States of America's armed forces. And obviously understanding that the Medal of Honor recipient that I went to complete the rubbing of the marker was not the only military member in each of those different locations, as far as spirit-wise or as far as in reference to in the different cities and states. So while I have been repeatedly told other people think that I should have had issues with military, that's not the way I have been, nor is that the way I've believed. And so, in my opinion, although I doubt that I'm the only one who has such an opinion at this point, as far as the different individuals who caused problems, to genuinely cause problems for my Medal of Honor art project with the intent of causing problems. In a lot of ways, you could view that as those individuals in regards to the cherubim ones declaring war in whichever way they chose to. And if Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kirkendall Jr., ever at any point in time said, what was his quote? This is Sparta. That was like he explained that was his way of declaring war. And it's one of those, treason, though it hasn't necessarily been, it has been defined, but certain aspects, not necessarily in full, have been put together because of the varying aspects of different things. And yeah, okay, I gave examples and stuff like that here, but in reference to helping, not causing problems. So, for example, in reference to the trip in Montana, when my son and I went to drop off the Medal of Honor artwork pieces that year, when I was staying at the Deer Lodge hot springs cabins, those people in the red car that had caused problems for the traffic could be considered in the reference point of the definitions I literally just read. And so, again, I did everything I could to prevent any issues from me, from when that one trip that I took my son. I did everything to make sure not only was I being respectful, but also taking into consideration the different areas I went to. I mean, I went as far as covering up as much as possible, because not that I didn't believe that there are people in smaller towns, you know, populations that don't have tattoos. Obviously, there are plenty who do. However, I didn't want to be disrespectful in that regard, because I didn't want to cause a shock, not just because of my hair and my haircut, but the color, but the additional stuff. And so, I mean, I even wore lace shirts to try to not have any issues at my own detriment. I don't deny that. But to do what I could to make sure that I didn't cause like too many, like, what is that, you know, sort of thing. And so where where there were those who had chosen to do as they did by just those two brief definitions, there is that aspect. And I didn't do any of that for any political aspect a lot of ways. You know, I understand that politic is of the people in the definition and stuff like that. I didn't do it to get favor. Not for me. It was to bring, I explained it on my website as well as. And so, you know, I didn't cause problems. I didn't do things, obviously, to cause any issues. Again, didn't think anybody would be so stupid. So this is just a real quick video in regards to that, because, yeah, I never thought that would be, like, you know, something that I'd have to explain, but, you know, there you go. So, but the UCMJ has had that particular explanation on the books. Universal Code of Military Justice has had that explanation on the books for a while. And people making the choice to do that purposefully, knowing that it would cause problems, and not trying to reduce it. I didn't think there were going to be any problems. Maybe I was ignorant in that regard, because I thought, you know, what is the worst that's going to happen? People will be more respectful of military guys. People will be more respectful to spiritual, religious people. How is that considered bad? I'm just saying. Now, that may not be the most normal aspect, but it is what it is. And so, you know, and leading by example, you know, I didn't do anything to cause problems. So, going back to that aspect of attempting to help where I can. Just saying. And did not think anybody would be so cherubim-y. The irony of that. So, yeah. Just making this quick little video in that regard. Because again, I really didn't think anybody would cause problems to that. I don't think anybody would be so cherubim in human form. Yep, how dare I be patriotic? How dare I be respectful no matter where I go? How dare I care? Yep. How dare I just go and not do anything to cause problems, but go and, like, you know, when I'm out there, oh, well, you know, I see a fire, so let me just go call 911 while I'm out here. Here you go, here's where I found it. You know, that way you guys don't have to, you know, waste too much time looking to figure that out. There you go. Reduce damage and stuff. Here you go. You know, how dare I do that? Just saying. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Stupid cherubim. I hate cherubim. I'm not the only one who hates cherubim. I know that. But, ugh, so disgusting.